She was the girl everyone wanted to be. Beautiful, rich, and unstoppable. But what no one knew was that 10 years ago, she had entered a room no mortal was meant to enter. She had witnessed a scene no one was meant to see. And now the spirits have come calling. The spirits never forget. Welcome to African Folktales with Nsinem. Shade was a beauty to behold and a very successful woman. She was a TV personality with millions of fans that tune in every day to watch her talk show. But Shade had a secret her fans were not aware of. Only her husband and her domestic staff knew about it. Every night, Shade would sleep and start shouting and screaming. Her husband, who had stopped sleeping in the same room with her, would run to her side and would wake Shade up from her nightmare. But the part that stunned Nkem, her husband, was that immediately Shade woke up, she would completely forget what the dream was about. The sun was setting gently over the estate when Zainab, the gateman's daughter, arrived at Shade's house to see her father. The shy 10-year-old girl, dressed in a faded Ankara gown, knocked on the big gate. She had been sent by her mother to collect some upkeep money from her father, Ibrahim, the gateman. Shade was stepping out, radiant in a flowing designer gown and oversized sunglasses, speaking gently to someone on the phone. She paused when she saw Zainab and her father at the gate. "Oh my God, aren't you just the prettiest girl I've seen all day?" Shade beamed, crouching a little to her level. Zainab blushed. "Good evening, ma." Shade smiled and handed her 5,000 from her purse. "Here, buy yourself something nice." Zainab whispered a thank you, clutching the money tightly. Shade walked to her car, waved, and drove off. Later that evening, as dusk thickened around the compound, Zainab sat under the small mango tree beside the gate, fiddling with the hem of her dress. Ibrahim noticed her quiet mood. "Z, why you no go house? Your mama go dey find you." Zainab hesitated, then looked up at her father. "Daddy, that auntie that gave me money, that fine one, she's nice, but she feels strange." Ibrahim raised an eyebrow. "Strange, how?" Zainab struggled with the words. "Like she's full of other voices, like something is following her. I saw shadows and they were staring." Ibrahim waved her off, half laughing. "You dey watch too many films for that your neighbor house. Netflix no be real life. My friend, go home." But as Zainab walked away, she kept glancing over her shoulder towards the mansion where Shade lived. Ibrahim paid no heed to what his daughter had said until one fateful day. Ibrahim, Shade's gateman, rushed into the house to tell Shade that she had some unusual guests waiting to see her at the gate. "Ask them in," Shade said, and Ibrahim quickly added, "Madam, they have refused to come in." "Madam, they are dressed in white wrappers," Ibrahim said. A faint memory was triggered in her mind and she rushed to the gate, but she found no one there. The gateman was stunned. "Madam, they were here. They both tied white wrapper with white chalks on their body," Ibrahim said. Shade started panting. The memories of Iyabo's party came flashing back. It was meant to be just another party. One night of glam. One night to be long. But some doors, once opened, never truly closed. Once upon a time, there were two beautiful young ladies named Shade and Amaka who attended the same school. The two friends were the most beautiful girls in the school until Iyabo came along. Iyabo was not only beautiful and intelligent, Iyabo was also from a very rich family. Everyone wanted to be Iyabo's friend. Queensbridge High School in Lagos burst with excitement when Iyabo, the glamorous new girl from London, announced her birthday party. Her parents' mansion in Banana Island promised a night of luxury and social media-worthy moments. Shade and Amaka, best friends from modest backgrounds, were desperate to attend, and not just attend, but stand out. Shade convinced Amaka that this was their chance to shine, to be noticed, to finally belong. Shade, do you know the amount of content we can make in a place as beautiful as Banana Island? I am sure Iyabo's house will be beautiful and luxurious. We need to buy a couple of outfits and go there and create a lot of content for our social media, Shade said. Amaka belonged to the same school of thought as her friend, and she quickly nodded her head in agreement to her friend's plans. The two girls were giddy with excitement. They could almost see the engagement, the content they were going to create. Together, they pooled their savings and rented designer gowns and jewelry from a boutique in Lekki. When Shade came home with the shimmering dress, her mother Ireti frowned. "Shade, how long will you keep living this fake life? All that glitters is not gold." But her father, Pakolakpo, laughed and said, "Let her be, Ireti. She's our ticket out of this life. Let her shine. Our daughter is beautiful. The world should see her." Their argument didn't stop Shade. She even borrowed extra money from her shady older cousin, Uncle Dimeji, who often bragged about helping people level up. All Shade's mother's pleas for her daughter to stop her pretentious life fell on deaf ears. "Mommy, haven't you heard of fake it until you make it? Everyone is living a fake life. Don't you know that most of these celebrities rent and borrow their clothes and cars? Don't worry, Mom. Once the brand deals start coming in, we will enjoy it together." The brand deals came eventually, but the cost was something no one could have envisaged. The girls arrived at the Iyabos mansion just as the party hit full swing. Luxury cars lined the driveway, the music pulsed, photographers clicked, influencers posed. Even amidst the glamour, Shade wasn't satisfied. "We need somewhere exclusive," she whispered, "somewhere quiet, perfect for photos and some videos, some reels." Ignoring the private sign on the door upstairs, they sneaked into a hallway and opened a dimly lit room. What they saw froze them. Two girls sat at the center, dressed in white wrappers, their hair adorned with cowries. They held a large calabash between them, sipping thick dark liquid in slow, unbroken rhythm. Their expressions were blank and distant. They never acknowledged the girl's presence. Just as Shade turned to whisper, one of the girls smiled, not at them, but at something behind them. They didn't wait to find out what it was. They ran downstairs, past the pole, out the gate. As they left the mansion, breathless and shaken, Shade whispered to Amaka, "You weren't supposed to see that." She didn't know why she said it, but the words terrified her more than what she had seen. That night, they didn't tell anyone what they had seen, nor the next day. They avoided each other until their friendship faded into silence. Slowly and surely, that scary night became a distant memory. 10 years later, Shade had become a famous Lagos influencer with brand deals, curated posts, and hundreds of thousands of followers. But behind the glamour, she suffered. She couldn't sleep. Every night brought hallucinations, shadowy figures, whispers in foreign tongues, and a recurring dream. A calabash and the taste of something bitter. But every morning, she would wake up and forget everything she had dreamed about. She masked her pain with filters and makeup. Shade and her husband had been married for 3 years and she could no longer count the number of miscarriages she had suffered. Amaka was unmarried, but she was just as influential as her friend Shade. Amaka was a real estate mogul and a social media expert, but she too battled a hidden pain. She had lost 3 fiancés to death. The men usually passed away mysteriously just after proposing to Amaka. At first, Amaka thought it was a coincidence. Chooks, her high school sweetheart, had proposed 2 years after he got his first record deal. The music he produced in his friend's studio had gone viral, and soon he had record labels fighting to sign him. He had organized a surprise engagement party for Amaka, and Amaka had accepted the diamond ring with a resounding yes. The 2 lovebirds had gone home and spent the night together. The following morning, Amaka had woken up to find Chooks in the bathroom. He was gone. He had tripped and fell down, smashing his head on the cold tiled floor. The second suitor had been asthmatic and had died 2 days after the engagement party from an asthma attack. It was after the third man died that Amaka noticed a pattern. She opened the journal and circled each death date. Each man had died just after proposing to her. Her hands trembled as she stared at the page. "What's happening to me?" she whispered. Amaka had no explanation as to what was happening to her. Amaka had been invited to a talk show where finances and investment were to be discussed. She was in the dressing room waiting to be called on stage when she felt a presence. Amaka turned, and right in front of her were 2 young women with white calabashes on their heads. They tied white wrappers with cowries on their hair. Amaka started screaming. The door opened and people rushed in, but Amaka kept screaming. The people tried to calm her down as they were confused as to what the problem was. All they saw was Amaka screaming and pointing at an empty space in the room. After Amaka was sedated and she had slept and woken up, she picked up her phone and called Shade. "Shade, I need to see you," Amaka had said. "Some rituals are sacred. Some eyes must never see, and silence is not always protection. It is a debt waiting to be paid." What do you think is happening to the 2 friends? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe and turn on the bell icon so that you will be notified when I post the concluding part. Thank you so much for watching.